Fellas and gentlemen.
Gentlemen and fellas.
The Fellas Tour is coming to Jacksonville and Miami next weekend. San Jose, Tacoma, Los Angeles, Cleveland, Chicago, Cincinnati, Columbus, Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh. Austin has been added. Detroit, Portland, Phoenix, Plano, Toronto, and Baltimore, which I now know that Plano is Dallas, so I will be saying Dallas from now on.
Oh, well, I was just shocked you said Plano.
Oh, I said it right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The BOYSCAST.
So sometimes politicians listen to the BOYSCAST. Many of them, I would say most politicians are big avid BOYSCAST fans. And Spain has now made one of the most accidentally for the boys. And this
I'm starting to think it's not an accident.
I'm starting to think it's not an accident. So Spain urges women to swim topless to fight discrimination.
Yes.
And, you know, the head minister, the priest of Spain, he came out and he was like, the tig old bitty's got to come out. But
Release the puppies.
they said they're taking no for an answer, too. This is another thing that they
pretty rapey. They go, we ain't taking no for an answer, ladies. Puppies out.
They said it was the puppies out bill, and then we're not taking for no for an answer clause. No means yes clause from Spain, right? But the interesting part was they tried to renege immediately as quick as Spain was like, hey, you fellas, I got your back. We all know everyone's at the beach. They want to see some puppies.
Yep.
Great for everybody. And their Department of Equality and Feminism.
I love how the Department of Equality and Feminism is like, tits out, ladies, but only the hot ones.
How funny is that? Like, that's the ultimate trying to crush pussy job, right? You go, I'm looking for a guy who's like a feminist, and the things no one said ever. I'm looking for a guy that just cares about women. That's so crazy. I'm the head of the Department of Equality and Feminism.
What are the odds, huh?
I really do hope that the Department of Equality and Feminism is just like a fucking bro, like
Spanish bro.
Yeah, just some Spanish bro, right? Yo, ladies, I like feminism and equality. That's my...
Qualities.
And he's produced a promoting women's rights to swim topless in public. So we've seen this before.
Yeah.
Nothing out of the ordinary. And after someone complained, they'd been prohibited. So great news. And he says the sexualization of women starts when they're young, mainly by me, is what he said. That's an exact quote. Accompanies all of our lives. Then we must cover up our breasts and put them in spaces. So I think it is a girl talking this. And for sex symbols like me, the sexualization also started young. You know what I mean? I'm walking around there 3-4. I saw these old ladies ogling me.
Yeah, when you were a 3-year-old?
I see, you walk around, you see these ladies. I say, eyes are up here, ladies. They see the fucking...
Up here, lady.
Hey, ladies, come on. So this is everyone sees this. Everyone applauded. Everyone said good news. And then, this is, you know what this motherfucker turns around and does? This is the second part of it. Catalonia's pro-topless swimming initiative comes from the heels of a controversy that was sparked by a summer ad campaign that was launched by Spain's left-wing government, encouraging older and plus-size women to hit the beach. Whoa. Okay, Spain.
That ain't for the boys.
Spain. You get off on the right track. You're coming out, you go, free pussy for all. The good news.
I like it.
We like it. We're listening.
Yeah.
That's what happened. They said this thing. We go, we're listening in Spain. Okay. What's the second part? Big old fat ones. This is what they said.
You had us in the first half.
The ads featured slogans like all bodies are beach bodies. The summer is ours too.
There was a chicken in charge of this.
They said, yeah. So they're having ads. They're like topless beach. And you know what we really mean? Get those titties out. The really big ones. Guess who they're attached to? An old lady.
Yeah.
No. Hold up. Record scratch. Yo, boys, Spain this summer, titties for everyone. Woo!
But that's the thing is the old ladies don't need to be the ones who are prompted for this stuff. They're kind of just like, yeah, they do what they want anyways.
Yeah.
They don't need to be told this.
You know what happened?
We need to be told the young, fit, hot ones, puppies out for equality, goddammit.
You know what and you know what this is? It's how it's like they want to have bills and then they want you to not like it. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. They're kind of like, they have to add in extra stuff so you hate it because they want their bills to like piss people off.
Very controversial bills.
But that's the thing. They don't want to just be like, hey, something everyone can agree on. We think tits out's great. All the dudes like the tits out.
Okay.
And then they have to throw it in like, also, we want, just so you know, like the gross titties are great too.
Yeah, tack on a little rider there. It goes, hey, just can we get $1 million for gross titties too?
Yeah.
Tack onto this bill and go, oh, what?
Huh? Speaking of bills.
Not cool, Spain.
Well, there's a couple of things, but so I went back to Canada, right?
Yeah.
Most girl country in the world, right? And honestly, I will tell you, the mask thing. So you know how we talk about, like everyone mentions, it's still just as bad in Canada as day one, right? Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you, they stopped enforcing it.
Yeah, they don't care anymore.
I wasn't wearing
except
it.
on the plane.
Nah, didn't get talked to once.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, the plane. They were.
No, they know that I'm more trouble than it's worth, pal. So they're done.
I had it on the plane. Although I will say, actually, there was a bit of a vibe of they couldn't give a shit anymore, but they're just
They don't give a shit.
They still were like massive.
Well, but it is so. And the thing is, when everywhere in the world is done, and you go, because they've all had to sort of admit that, like, because nothing's changed really, other than they just keep rolling back restrictions. You're like, is the virus still there? They're like, yeah. And it's like, well, why are you rolling back? And you're like, just shut up.
Yeah.
Just like, dude,
We earmarked a bunch of money for this stuff.
yeah, dude, it's like, you know what? Yes, you're right. Can you not just gloat about it? You know what I mean? We're rolling it back. But the people that are pathological, it feels like it does feel extra crazy right now. Like, so there's this teacher in New York.
Yeah.
And her whole thing was the school basically said, listen, we're done with this whole mask business, right? You know what I mean?
And then the school didn't do that. The fucking CDC said we're done with
Yeah,
the
the
mask
world
business.
said, like,
and then
honestly.
everybody's following the CDC guidance.
Right, because that was their whole thing. And then now there's teachers that are like really in this stuff. And she's doing a thing saying like, well, not my classroom. My classroom, you got to be masked up, right?
We're in a mask classroom.
But like without the context of like if you said to someone like 4 or 5 years ago, you go, there's this one teacher at our school that makes people wear a fucking mask in the class. You'd be like, that's a crazy person, right?
Yeah.
And then it became normal. But now it's sort of creeping back to where you go, what is she, fucking insane?
Well, you can't just impose stuff like that.
She is.
Yeah. What's next? Burkas?
Well, and she's still clinging to the old thing where she goes, like it's sort of.
Well, she can't do the public health thing, right? She can't say, hey, this is a public health issue, because you go,
Right.
no, it's not. The
Yeah,
CDC says it's not anymore.
Well,
so then
she's-
she has to go fucking just nuclear.
She says you're being ableist and racist.
Of course. Racist.
Well, it's like racist,
Of course.
right?
Racist.
Of course.
What else are you going to say? That's the only card she has up the sleeve.
That's it. That's the only thing she knows how to play, right?
Yeah, she goes, that's it. That's
She
all
has
I
a
got.
full deck of cards, and each one of them are homophobic.
Homophobic.
Well, but it's so funny, though, because it really, you know, the old cult movies where you see, like, it'll be like, sometimes like the doomsday cult that can't go outside. They were told like if they go outside their skin will melt off or whatever, and then like someone goes outside and they're fine.
And they're fine. They go, yeah, what's going on?
And it sort of wrecks your brain to like realize, you kind of create all these pathways in your brain, and then you need to realize that I've been like, I've been living this like lie, right?
Yeah. I mean, she's like full on Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
Right? Like germaphobe, and then she's making she's just using the irrational stuff to make everybody just do it.
Yo, that must be like a trip for those people. If you're really like, yo, I'm a hero wearing a mask, and then all of a sudden the school's like, yeah, that whole thing's done. And you're just like, but I'm a hero.
But I'm a hero, and this is my identity now.
That's tough, right?
Have you been following the Taylor Lorenz?
I will say the other way, I feel like it also, I will add in the like vaccine stuff. It does feel like just the same way that even if they're wrong or whatever, it does feel like a lot of people are like kind of still talking about the vaccine stuff, and everyone's like, yeah, I don't know. Like it's over.
Yeah, it's over. I mean, they only had, 3% of kids under 5 have received them or something?
And that was their whole mandate.
That was the whole thing. And they're still pushing. I was in a taxi
Oh, so they
yesterday.
are still, okay, well then it is still relevant. If
Well,
they're still
no, but
pushing
no.
it.
They're pushing in the sense that I was in a taxi yesterday, and then they in New York they have like the little screen and they play shows and stuff. And then
Okay.
there's like Mayor Adams. He's like, make sure to vaccinate. And you're like, it's not happening. We're not vaccinating our fucking kids.
It's done, pal.
Everybody's like with the bare minimum abilities to weigh risk versus reward is like, why would I vaccinate my 4-year-old?
Especially when this thing's basically wrapping up.
Yeah,
This puppy's
we're
wrapping
like
up.
this whole thing's wrapping up. But I don't know if you saw like Taylor Lorenz, lovely fucking young Taylor Lorenz, just the youngest reporter out there on the beat, and she's saying like, "Hey, the masks need to be everywhere. What about us immunocompromised people?" Like she's making a whole stink.
You're back to normal, pal.
Yeah, she's making a whole stink, and you're like, "Yeah,
Bubble girl.
your life is like what it was like 3 years ago."
Yeah, 3 years
You
ago.
still have your issue.
Were you saying this 3
And
years
it's
ago
sti-
that
and
everyone
it's-
should wear a mask?
No.
Yeah, so
she got used to bossing people
No,
around.
they did. You know, people got a healthy dose of hall monitoring. And you're right. They're having their like hall monitoring taken away from them. It's kind of like when people in the army come back and they can't acclimate.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these people that they go, hey, listen, you're like a temporary. It's like we're going to war and you get like a temporary, sheriff's badge. And there's like, there's the town's having a war with another town. And then this sort of, 4 months later, they're like, hey, we're going to need that like sheriff badge back off. You see? And she's like, what?
Yeah, she's on planes
But I'm the sheriff.
She's on planes right now being like, there was only 2 people on the plane wearing a mask. I'm going to die. And you go, yeah, that sucks.
I guess
know
don't
what
be
to
on
tell you.
planes then.
Yeah, it sucks, Taylor.
No, it's really frying people right now, I think. But so I got set up by the flight attendant, and I don't think it was related to my mask situation. But so when I'm going on, the person at the front desk goes to me and they're like, hey, I was getting on like late. And she was like, just so you know, there's like extra aisle seats or what, not aisle seats, in the row where you get extra leg room.
Emergency.
Yeah, and I didn't pay for it. She was like, so just, there was an extra aisle seat, so I gave it to you. I'm not going to change your ticket, but just tell the girl at the flight that, right? So I go to the front to the flight and I go, hey, everyone's watching me, right? Because I always board last because I don't like to wait in the line.
Yeah.
So everyone's watching me, and I go to the lady. I go, hey, the girl at the front told me just to mention to you that she switched my seat to the emergency seat, but to like tell you that. And she goes, yeah, those seats are extra. And I was like, yeah, I didn't even ask her. She just told me this. And she was like, so what? You just like that? Yeah, I'm sure everyone would just want to upgrade their seat, but it's not free. You have to pay for that. And I go, what the fuck?
What is going on here?
Yeah. And then I sort of made a stink. I'm just like, because I'm saving face for the people that are watching me too. So I'm just like, okay, for the record, like this isn't something that I asked about. I was walking on the plane and she told me to tell you this. So this has never happened to me. This is like an outrageous thing. So why did she tell me that? She goes, well, you have to ask her. I go, okay, fine. I'll go back and ask her. And she goes, you can't. The plane's leaving. You can't get off anymore. And I was like, all right. So I just went to my seat. This like lady set me up. It's the equivalent of like telling your buddy, you know what I mean? You're just like, hey, you know what? When you go to that place, like mention my name, they'll give you a free cupcake.
Yeah.
And then
Do you think she saw you? Because you know how the whole thing is, if you sit in the emergency seat, they come up to you and you go, hey, if we get a plane crash,
she saw a hero.
Are you willing to do the stuff?
Yeah,
Just so you know, you got to do this stuff to get everybody off. And she sized you up and go, this is not a hero. This is not hero material.
Well, you were looking at backwards. The girl at the front desk sized me up.
Yeah,
And
she said this guy is a hero. And then you got on the
said, "Oh my
plane and the
God,
stewardess
dude."
goes, this guy's a zero. No dice.
Well, that's another possibility. She was like, sir, you're not going to be able to pull the hatch.
But that's crazy. You're not like, hey, so she just told me to just grab any seat in first class I wanted. Is that cool? Like, it's not like that crazy.
Yeah, and also,
like what in terms of lies?
And also, you go, well, is there a free one? How would I know that? Then I thought, I guess you're right. That would be something to pull. Is come on every flight and be like, hey, they told me there's like empty seats. Can I switch? That's what the girl told me.
Yeah.
Like it does. She set me up.
She set you up.
It's telling your buddy, oh, you're going to that bar. Oh, tell the bartender Ryan Long, and you'll get a free drink.
You think?
And then they go.
You think you're like she just hears you in a distance down the fucking gateway thing?
They're having a good laugh.
And they're like, this fucking loser. He thinks he's about to sit.
You know what? Maybe I got one of her friends on like a street interview. Thing.
Yeah, probably. And she goes, joke's on you, funny man.
Well, I was a calamity of errors on this flight because second of all, I was looking at my computer. I did a guys who say ball and chain video, and it was very like guys who are abused by their wife. And one of the things I was on my computer, and I pay for the internet, so I was on my computer, and I was on a page, what to do when your wife's abusing you. And then the guy beside me.
He goes, dude, are you okay?
Yeah, dude, I swear to God, fucking full headline on my, a big ass 18-inch computer or whatever, right? And then the guy beside me is looking at me. I see him like make direct eye contact and like, he didn't mention it.
And did you look at him and go, oh, no, I abuse my wife, actually. This is just for comedy. No, don't worry. I wear the pants in the family.
It's for my body, dude.
Yeah,
I
it's for my
promise you. I
body.
got my
It's
shit
getting
under
abused.
control. But yeah, I'm scrolling through articles about like what you do when you're getting abused and like, what did I do? Things like, oh, this is what it was. It was like things abusive wives do. And I was like, kind of like looking at, the things I wrote and just trying to...
The best too, because knowing you're probably like doing that, and then you're like laughing to yourself. You go like, "Oh, that's funny," and you're like, "It's like, what is going on?"
Exactly.
This guy's so traumatized. He's finding the humor in this.
She would do that to me.
Yeah.
We had a really good line because I did it with Alex Byron. He opened for me in Edmonton, and we had one of the lines. We go to a funeral home. We were outside of a funeral home, and you walk into the field like guys who were like just bitching around by the girl. He goes, "Oh, I was 4 hours late to saying my final goodbyes to my grandmother because my wife needed her foot rub." And then he comes back, I just missed her. He couldn't go see say final words to his grandma because his wife needed a back rub or something.
A nice back rub.
No one else we had. That's a pretty funny thing that I feel like you'll like. It was so we're how like the comedians have like the what I look like jokes and all that stuff, and then actors will, Christian Bale will get skinny for a role or whatever. We're saying that a comedian that gets like a different like look for every special, he puts on like 80 pounds for a special that's all fat jokes.
That's funny.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the fat special. Like how Amy Schumer had the leather special, but it's the fat special. But you are fat.
Yeah, so you actually commit to the bit.
And then your next special is called Emaciated.
Yeah, and then you're like, I know what you're thinking. Has this guy had a meal this week?
Have you eaten since your last special?
Yeah, exactly. But like even taking it further, it's just like a guy. It's like, I know what you're thinking. Is this guy, did the bouncer just go on stage and you're wearing a bouncer outfit? Like the bouncer special. Oh my God, what is this guy? I know what everyone's probably thinking, looking at me like, what is this comedian, a 1950s railroad conductor? And you're just actually dressed like a 1950s railroad conductor.
Just ripping off every fucking costume.
Yeah, exactly. Get like a really wacky haircut and just like all the bad haircut special.
Like 10 costume changes.
Yeah.
When you go backstage, like the lights go out, so you can do like, like on the plays where the lights go out for like 10 seconds and you just know they're all hurriedly changing.
And then you come out, I know what everyone's thinking.
You're walking different.
What is this guy dressed like Michael? What is Michael Jackson on stage?
And you got the glove, the rhinestone glove.
Yeah.
I guess I am.
So that's the comedian that just puts, grow a weird beard and then only have weird beard jokes. Like a comedian.
1 hour of weird beard jokes. Yeah,
a guy that's, you have he's like, well, I guess they thought the bouncer went on stage. It's like, you have the clicker in your hand.
And then you got one guy in the audience who has a really weird beard. You go, get this guy fucking out of here.
Yeah, I need this guy out of here.
Guy doesn't laugh one time.
Yeah, we're going to need this guy out of here.
Get him out.
So that was making me laugh. But then there's annoying ladies. This is my last plane thing, but I got sad beside these. So 90-year-old women are insane, right? So these two 90-year-old women, all-night flight, wouldn't stop talking. I swear to God, I gave myself time limits where I go, you know what, 10 minutes, I'm going to give them 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to give them a look. And then
what were they chatting about?
It was crazy, bro. Like, she goes, my friend of 3 years had to cancel her going to her friend's birthday because she had car problems. And she was like, so yeah, it's crazy thing that people would have car problems. And then it would go like silent for a few seconds. And the girl would go, I used to be a cleaning lady back in the day.
Oh, they didn't know each other?
No, they didn't know each other.
Ooh.
Two 90s. And they're going on, right? And then every
this is
pause.
Late night?
5 a.m. Every pause.
Oh no! So this is early. They had been up for 3 hours.
No, because the flight was at like 1 or whatever. And then they'd pause for a second. Then she'd be like, "So you taking a car from the airport?" But the thing is with ladies, and maybe this is partially what I have too, but they can't get sound out, so they're so loud, right?
Yeah.
Because like obviously there's not a great generalization to say old ladies are so loud, but one of the things is they have like trouble speaking almost. Mm-hmm. So to get it out, they're like have to yell.
Yeah, and hearing, so they probably can't hear themselves as well because you lose your hearing the older you get. So
my niece's husband works for the city. Like, and then they talk about that for 4 minutes. They're just like every extraneous thing. And it kind of got me thinking. So I did have a point. It wasn't just that. But girls sort of, you know how like bloggers, it's all clickbait, right?
Yeah.
And it sort of makes sense that girls are bloggers because girls' stories was the original clickbait. Like a girl coming home and being, hey, I have the most insane story. You'll never guess what happened.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty
you go,
sane.
What happened? They sent my pants to the wrong address. And it's like, that was the original clickbait, is a chick being like, yo, you will not believe what I'm about to tell you. Yeah. And then you go, what happened? You go, my hairdresser's taking a week vacation.
You won't believe this. No, this would be like, 500,000 years ago. You won't believe this dinosaur I saw. It's just like a little lizard just going. Oh, yeah,
Right. That was the original. Yeah, that was the.
I have it in my pocket. You go, oh,
You'll
I thought
never
you were talking about a.
You'll never guess.
I thought you were talking about a giant dinosaur.
So that was the original clickbait. Like, and 10, oh my God, 10 things you need to hear.
Do you think that
you go, I promise we could do 2 of them.
Do you think if you recorded their conversation that that would be a podcast a 90-year-old would like to listen to? Just fucking Barb and Barb just kind of just chopping it up about absolutely nothing.
That's such a funny point. The 90-year-old woman podcast, and it's like,
oh yeah,
there's benefits to taking a cab, but sometimes an Uber might be better too.
Yeah. If I could just figure out this Uber, and then there's like so much dead air in this podcast, like the cardinal sin of podcasts, and there's just like mostly dead air.
That's a very good question. Do a 90-year-old woman want to listen to another 90-year-old woman? Like, sometimes I put 1 spoonful of sugar in, but sometimes I put 2. And a couple months ago I put 2, and I made it for the family. And anyways,
this is so soothing if you're also 90.
That's probably
talking about issues that 90-year-olds have.
Yeah.
Probably an untapped market if 90-year-olds could figure out podcasts.
It's a funny untapped market. A quick second here to tell the fellas about Butcher Box. We've been telling you, we will keep telling you. If you don't know about Butcher Box, this is where you get high quality meals. If you want to not be out there buying meals every day, but you also want the good stuff, Butcher Box makes it easy for you, takes the guesswork out of finding high-quality meat and seafood you can trust. You're not out there at the grocery store shaking the meat on your ear.
Shaking the meat can.
Yeah, shaking
eating canned meat.
Like an idiot. You're getting 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork-raised, crate-free, wild-caught seafood. You get just what you want, delivered right to your doorstep, free shipping for the continental U.S., and no surprise fees. So you enjoy a range of high-quality cuts that are hard to come by at the grocery store. This is not your grandmother's meat you're just going to find everywhere. This is the good stuff. This is the stuff you're going to have at your barbecue, and everyone will be like, who are you, the president?
The Prez.
At an amazing value. Exclusive member deals so you can save big on your favorite cuts. So personally, I use it. I got my friends and family using it. We got chicken. We got shrimp.
Lobster
we got
tails.
lobster.
Dogs.
What? Oh, hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Yeah, and that's one thing that gourmet is actually better. You know what I mean?
A dog.
So I'm all over this. So listen, take chicken breasts off your grocery list. Butcher Box is offering our listeners an incredible deal that they've never ordered before. Free chicken for a year. Don't be a chicken. Get this chicken. That's not in the copy either.
That's you.
I should be an ad copy guy.
You should be.
Get 2 pounds of free-range organic chicken breasts for free in every order when you sign up at butcherbox.com/boyscast and use the code BOYSCAST. Claim this deal at butcherbox.com/boyscast and use the promo code BOYSCAST. Okay, so anyways, the one thing that was like really making me laugh is, so Hugh Hefner, since he's died, there has just been article, Netflix special, like they're doing this guy dirty.
All the most obvious shit, by the way.
Yeah.
Everything they say, they go, yeah, they're tarnishing his legacy. You go, yeah, that's all the stuff he was doing that we knew about and we're fine with and we're kind of aspirational and
like he's lucky he's dead, right?
Oh, I mean, dude. Nothing says lucky he's dead more than the fact that like he dies and then 4 years later they're like, hey, here's some trans people on the cover of Playboy. You're like, yeah, I don't think that's how we thought the direction of Playboy should go.
Yeah. So, but they're kind of like doing him dirty, and these girls are coming out with articles because it used to be like the original one was like newsflash, Hugh Hefner's a misogynist.
Yeah, I know.
Like those were kind of what you're saying. The original,
yeah, a lot of sex and drugs happened at the Playboy Mansion. You go, what?
What the hell?
What?
He wasn't like a very attentive partner.
Oh no, he wasn't attentive to his 6 girlfriends.
But the news stories that are coming out is they're doing him like it's kind of like he's got a small dick stuff. You know what I mean? Like this new one, they go the Playboy bunnies all got together and he said he would cry all the time.
Fake cry.
It really is a jilted ex-girlfriend. Just like say, so yeah, they said he would fake cry whenever he needs to get his way. So the story is he would be like, hey, I'm here to get my sex or whatever, right? And then she'd be like, I don't want to. And he'd be like, you never do anything for me.
Yeah.
Do I not do enough?
I
So his like cool guy image, they're just doing everything they can to just destroy it.
I mean, if fake crying to get something you wanted wasn't the domain of women specifically, I would maybe give this a
That's
little
another-
more credence. But you're like, that's your thing he's doing.
I know.
Right? And you go, oh, he did it?
Well,
I'll go,
maybe that's what
you've
happens.
never
when
done it?
Maybe that's what happens when you
You
only
got
hang
to fight
around
fire
women.
with fire.
Or it's it's like that thing where you go, if you just only hang around women, like it does make you softer. There's no
Yeah.
question about that, right? I mean, I'll tell you a perfect example. Every girl I'm
Makes me angrier.
hanging around with women makes you angrier.
Yeah, angrier.
Well, I think you need both, but like I will say, every time I go hang out with my like a bunch of dudes for like a really extended period of time, and I've like come home to my girlfriend, she's always kind of been like, "Yo, why are you being like an asshole right now?" Do you know what I mean? And I'm just like,
can you stop shotgunning beers in the bed?
like
Getting everywhere.
Yes. Every girl I've ever dated, her least favorite version of me is I just spent like a weekend with the boys.
Yeah, like you're like amped up too. You're like, you didn't get this out of your system all weekend? You go, no, this is just starting.
Well, no, exactly. It's sort of rewind. Yeah, like I'm very competitive. You're very like, what the fuck's this shit you're doing? Like, what was you call that a fucking tit? Like, what are you crying about now? Like,
What are you crying about
It would be
now?
way more like that. Like, if a girl was like fucking mad about something, I go, what's she crying about now? Stuff like that, where she's like, why are you being like this? And it's like, I don't know. I guess this has just been normal for me for like 3 days.
Yeah. Stone Cold Stunner her.
Well, that would be, maybe not
Give her a
so
little
much
rock.
physical.
It doesn't matter. And you go,
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What are you crying about? It doesn't matter what you're crying about.
Coming back from fucking SummerSlam.
That's such a good
With the
thing to do.
boys.
Your chick comes back and she's like, I had a really bad day at work. And you go, oh my God, what happened? She goes, well, it doesn't matter what happened.
Just the best of the Rock sound bites. Shut up, bitch. Oh, God.
Oh my God, you never guessed what my mom said. What did you say? It doesn't matter what your mom said.
She goes, Ron, you've been saying that to everything I say for the last week. You go, yeah, just working it out of my system.
Hey, what are you thinking? You want me to get you some pizza? I'm ordering food. Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you want pizza.
It's like, yeah, but you
I
said
bought
that
one slice.
It's like, but you said that last time, and then I got you the slice, and you didn't like it. So
Yeah. So that's possible. But but it's possible that Hugh Hefner spent so much time with women that he became one.
I guess. So he's a bit of a lesbian situation.
Well, every guy that's like,
I mean, he's also 85 at this point. He's
Sure.
an 85-year-old man.
Maybe he shit his
Which you
pants.
kind of do regress to a bit, like a lot of your bodily
Like a
functions
baby?
are regressing to a baby.
he's got a pacifier in.
Yeah, and the pacifier happens to be these like hot chicks' tits. Who wants some sucky?
There is two types of guys that crush a lot of women. There's a guy that's like, you're almost like way more like girls don't matter almost, and then there's the guy that like almost is a girl.
Yeah,
like I know a lot of
really in tune.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
able
yeah.
to more manipulative, I would say.
almost the Spanish, like you're like I'm so like baby, I'm so, like
baby,
the romantic.
just let the puppies out,
baby, let the puppies out.
as we do in Catalonia.
No. Only premium puppies. I do not play by the Spanish rules.
No.
So that guy is a guy that, because that guy's not like going out with the boys and picking up a chick. That guy is like meeting a chick on the subway and like
Course.
wooing her. So he only spends his time with women.
Yeah.
So those guys are very
like
feminine.
he's like, oh my God, is that belt? Like he knows where her belt is from, and she's like, yeah, how do
Right.
you know that?
Yeah.
But he's like, he knows that because that's his business.
Maybe Hugh Hefner spent all his time with women that he's so sloppy. I like that I keep saying woman instead of women.
I know. I was
waiting for you to get annoyed.
honestly,
I had one more in me. That was me with the ladies. I gave him 10
could
more
honestly.
minutes.
You're turning into Jay. You're trolling me now. Okay. I was honestly like, am I mishearing something? You're like, are you trying to do a Russian accent? Because then you'd say, are you with woman? And
I don't know
women.
why I was coming out like that, but I didn't like it either.
I think it maybe did it accidentally at first, and then you kept going. And I go, is something going on here?
Something happened, but that was me with the ladies. I go, I'll give
okay.
you one more time, and then they would be like 20 more minutes. So then I gave them a pretty aggressive look.
You know what's funny too is the comments in the YouTube right now. Probably 20 comments about it before you even reference it. People are like, "What the fuck, woman?" He keeps
That's
saying
why
woman.
I felt like I had to address it.
Yeah.
I know.
And that's why I actually kept letting it slide because I go, so
he's gonna get it from
big
the
on
comments.
the SEO.
Well, they said one of his bizarre bombshells is the disgraced Playboy boss. He's not disgraced to any normal person. No
Disgraced
one
to
cares.
who?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Disgraced.
Like disgraced to Vice?
Well, that's the same way that they're just like Aristotle, disgraced philosopher.
Yeah,
You know what I
like-
mean? Or anyone else. Who's the guy like Einstein?
Einstein, yeah.
Disgraced gravity inventor.
Scientist Albert Einstein.
Do you think that that's how they would refer to him?
They did.
Disgraced scientist.
I bet someone would because his notes came out and they were racist. He had racist notes.
And he was a womanizer.
Kind of, yeah.
No, Einstein was very like Mr.
Yeah,
Steal Your Girl type.
It's Mr. I mean, I feel like if Einstein stole your girl, you'd be like, I don't know.
He wasn't Einstein at the time, though, really. He was just like some wacky dude with his theories.
Oh, he wasn't like the old Einstein.
Well, I don't know.
No, because old Einstein was like, they came out and he had all these things where you're saying how Asian people all look the same and they have funny haircuts and stuff.
That's
And then they were trying to be
crazy,
like,
they're
Einstein. And he's like, Einstein's racist. And you're like, well, you wrote this in the 40s or something.
Yeah.
It's probably a pretty acceptable point.
I
to
hate when
make.
people like it's a big thing on the internet to say,
revisionism.
oh, Asian people look the same, and then they show all these white people that look the same. And it was like, no, the point is every race, the average person kind of looks the same. It's just that some races have more versions of people.
And they look the same if you're not part of it because you don't understand the nuances of it. Whereas like all Asian people look the same because most people can't tell, like to someone
No, but
who
average
can't
white
tell the
guys
difference
with a
between
beard do look the
Japanese
same
and
to me.
Korean. Yeah, for sure.
Like they do. I
There's
also think
a
white
million
people
of
look the-
me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Dude, you know how often I get tagged and stuff where people are like, is this you?
Yeah.
And you're like, it's just, yeah.
Well, they released a photo of that
Aristotle.
and
Or
he-
Socrates.
Aristotle, I think, and he looks exactly like Danny.
I know. I got tagged in that maybe 100 times.
Yeah, well, so my point is that with the Asian thing, and that's whatever, not the biggest deal, but you go, if you think of like a black guy, you don't just think of one black guy. You think of like, there's kind of like a big fat black guy. There's like the short, cool black guy.
Like
and
the CeeLo.
There's just like a lot of different types, right?
Absolutely.
Whereas when you think of an Asian, everyone sort of pictures the same model. Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's the whole thing.
Ichiro.
Right. So the whole reason it's like when people say a group looks the same, it's that they have less models.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't actually know that that's true. It's
Like
just,
even if you picture a white guy here, you might picture, like for example, people don't say it as much about Japanese Asians because you go, well, Japanese people, I might be picturing just like a businessman, but I also might be picturing a guy with like a crazy wacky hairdo and wacky outfits.
Yeah, but there might just be a tourist as well, just in a regular, just wearing his Helly Hansen shirts.
What do you
and
mean?
his hats. I mean, they're all over. They have lots of versions too. They're just maybe in the what's portrayed here is differently. But I'm saying over there, they don't think there's two kinds. They go, yeah, there's a million kinds. Like we
No,
think.
but they're all-
But they think there's two kinds of white
Okay,
guys.
no, you're wrong because there's less height variance, they're less fat, so there is less like versions.
Actually,
even
that's
if
true.
you just take even if you're like, well, they have more wacky fashions there. Well, in a lot of places that's not true. A lot of places they actually don't have as many different like fashion versions. And then on top of that, they're just like less variance in like again, like there's tons of Americans that are 500 pounds and tons of Americans that are like 100 pounds that are white or black.
Sure.
And there's just not that many
That's
versions
true.
of other races.
Weight wise, for sure, 100%.
Well, that's it.
True. Yeah, they are kind of have the same.
To me, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, I was kind of more going on face, but yeah, you're right.
So to me, that's how I see it. But with Hugh Hefner, they go, okay. The rest of it, they go, they're accusing him of crying crocodile tears to have his way with his harem of playmates. See, me and you are more of a cry during sex type of guy, right?
Where do you get the lube from?
Yeah. If we were emotional about something or asked for something, he would start fake crying. So that's actually
That's a good tactic.
It's not that.
I
Now
mean,
I'm back
again,
in.
he's fighting
I thought
fire
he was-
with fire.
I thought he was crying for sex, but they're like, Hugh, we need more money because I want to go on this trip to Spain or whatever. And he goes, but it's always you give me so much money, and I'm broke. I don't have any more money.
And he goes, no. He goes like, no, honey, I already gave you money. And they go, eh, and he just goes, eh. And then they're just two chicks crying, and then they go, all right, well that's it, it's over.
It's the Larry David thing where they're both looking at each other, but they're both doing that crying.
Yeah, and he goes, okay, it's a stalemate. And then they probably go, we don't really know how to deal with this.
They're not.
And they have to go regroup, and then he just gets time by himself. He goes, okay,
Yeah,
sweet.
she comes back. She's like, as she's leaving the room, wiping the tears. What the fuck was that? What's he doing?
It's
over
funny
there?
because they're really throwing the kitchen sink at him because this is what they have to
It
come at
is.
him with because they can't. It's like there's no sex stuff to come at him with anymore.
Doesn't matter. He's dead.
not only is he dead, but like he obviously did every single thing you can accuse him of.
Yeah.
So you're like, and everybody knows it.
He cheated on me.
He cheated on me and the other girlfriends with some of the other girlfriends.
There's not much that you could
the
hit him
life
with on
he-
that front.
the life
You
he
have to
chose.
essentially say he raped me.
Which I'm sure that has come out.
I'm
and
sure,
I'm
yeah.
sure there is a lot of that. And then, I don't know. But yeah, they're just now being like, yeah, you know what? He was a bit of a fucking bitch, baby.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have a Playboy Mansion podcast, which is bad news for him. He would have never let that happen. These hens. He basically has like a gossip podcast about him. Yo, think about what he essentially has if he was still alive. Essentially, he goes, hey, my 12 girlfriends have a podcast together. Like, what are they talking about? It's like mainly trashing
it's
me.
called Left Out of the Will with Hugh's ex-girlfriends.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's if you're going to have you can, my 12 girlfriends are going to have a podcast, but I'll tell you where you're going to be doing that podcast from your new fucking shanty town.
Your studio apartment in West Hollywood. Joy, ladies.
Yeah, exactly. So the Playboy is just straight up tarnishing this guy's name, dude. He's the only thing that keeps them relevant too. Because if that podcast wasn't, if they go, the 12 hoes are going to talk about something other than how bad of a guy Hugh Hefner is, like what else are they going to talk about? Like, we just think the environment's so good. Everyone's like, click.
Yeah, they go. We have one thing that we care about is like what was it like when
The
you were
legacy.
what was it like being Hugh Hefner's girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't know. Do you have good plastic surgeon recommendations?
Like the Office podcast that we always talk about.
Yeah. Be like, so what's going on in the news this week on the Office podcast? And you're like, click. Yeah, no thanks.
I don't need.
No thanks, Pam.
Yeah, Kevin from The Office, starts going off about his thoughts on COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, I would like that, but I know that Kevin from The Office's thoughts on COVID will probably. I mean, if he wants to keep his Kevin from The Office podcast, they're not going to be very interesting.
we know exactly what it's going to be.
He's not going to be going off. I'll tell you that much.
No, he'll be going off on like some new like food item at Chili's that's some sort of abomination that he doesn't like.
It is an interesting. Yeah, so those things are. You have one thing that anyone's going to hear about from you, and comes just days after. Marquardt used her platform to expose him for making the Playmates feel like pieces of meat.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. If that's a direct quote, you're like, you're literally pieces of meat. That's your livelihood is derived on the fact that you are pieces of meat.
She's coming out and saying she's not happy about it.
Oh yeah, you know what's so funny too is you make your whole life about being a piece of meat, and then your looks fade because you're 50 now.
Yeah,
You go,
yeah.
I'm not some piece of meat, and we go, yeah, we know that. You're not anymore.
That's correct.
And they go, I have a brain. You go, yeah, not so fast. I don't know about that either, though.
Yeah, that's the duh of the millennium too, right?
Yeah, I go, wait, they treat us like pieces of meat. And you go, yeah, we were all in on this.
Yeah, you go, when were you treated like pieces of meat? Well, when me and 20 other girls were Hugh Hefner's girlfriend, it sort of made me feel like I'm some sort of piece of meat.
Yeah, like when we were part of his harem.
So that's their hot. That's what's going on in the Playboy podcast.
That's cool.
Some of the episodes are leading people to believe that being part of a guy's harem made them feel like a bit of a piece of meat.
Financially compensated too. They weren't even like they were probably compensated fairly well.
Yeah,
and
you were
have careers off of it.
You're
professionals.
You were a professional,
And
piece
not
of
prostitutes either. They were. This is like pretty
Well, they
good
kinda
deal
were.
for them. Yeah, but not like in the grand scheme.
meat.
Of
You're
things.
saying it was in between a prostitute and a wife,
something like that. Yeah.
like a stay-at-home wife, where it's like you're not getting. Put it this way. You're not technically getting paid for the sex, but if the sex stops, the payment might also stop.
Yeah, or like you gain a few, and we need you looking good.
Yeah, so she also blasted him. Ready for this? It's not over. So those are the two first worst ones, but there's more. But wait, there's more. Billy Mays style. During their most recent episode, Madison, which is one of the Playmates, went on to blast Hugh Hefner and said he gaslit her.
No.
He
No.
gaslit her and the other girls by weaponizing his tears, even though he already had all the power in the relationship. Very hard to have all the power in the relationship when there's 10 fucking girls that are all getting together.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you can like literally fire your girlfriend, like you're not breaking up with them, you're firing them.
You don't even have to do it.
But I'm sure they were doing more of the gaslighting if we made that pie chart of who's doing gaslighting.
Right. Well, he's basically coming out and he's like, or maybe he was crying. It's like he has, 13 girls that shows up and he goes, but I wanted 14 girls. I thought you promised this. There should be 14 of you here.
Because I just popped 14 Viagras. So.
You know, if we talked about the euthanasia stuff and how it's kind of becoming like a really big topic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
in Canada.
It happened in Canada, but since that happened, you know, a lot of people messaged me about it and were like, no, this thing's like becoming a huge like scandal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the ones that someone sent me that is like pretty wild but also funny is there's like a Canadian soldier that had PTSD. And he's involved in a lawsuit with, you know, the
Veterans Affairs or whatever.
Yeah, and the doctor or whatever. Because essentially what happened is he went in and the doctor suggested that euthanasia might be a good...
It's like a sketch. You come into the doctor, you go, doctor, I don't feel good. He goes, have you tried considering killing yourself? And you go,
Right.
No.
Like, what?
What do you mean?
Yo, but that is, I guess, the natural progression. If a guy's like, you know, my life's bad, my wife left me, like I just every day is hell. And the guy's like, yeah, okay. Do you want to do it tomorrow or next day or what do you think? And he goes, what? Oh.
He goes, wait, are you loading a gun right now? He goes, what? What do you mean? Yeah. He goes, we'll just take you out back, like fucking do you old Yeller style.
Yeah, we can do this. Like, I can slot you in this afternoon, to be
Yeah.
honest. Slot me in for what exactly? Oh,
Mary, fire up the incinerator. We got one.
we go. Because I'm sure these guys get paid pretty handsomely for when they do a kill job too, right?
You think so? Do you think this is some sort of bonuses?
I think it's more like a guy comes in and you go, well, option one is you should prescribe him some antidepressants. You know, maybe you get a little cut of that. You walk away with $400 plus a
little vacation
plus
every year for
hundred.
all the top doctors.
Yeah, so you're making $600 on that visit. Or option two, you sign this guy up for a euthanasia and you probably walk home with a few bills or a few K.
That's one of the craziest things. If they're like euthanizing,
Big suicide.
euthanizing depressed people.
Big suicide.
Yeah, you're like everybody always says too, a slippery slope fallacy, and go, it's not a real thing, it's a fallacy, and then it straight up started with, hey, like this person is in chronic pain, and their life is literally hell and misery, and you would not wish this on any person,
and they're probably gonna die eventually. And every second they're alive is like torture,
and they go, we can't. There's not even medication for it.
We're just keeping them alive for nothing.
Yeah, and they're not even in a coma. Like they're alive, living through hell, and they're just like, please kill me. It hurts to speak. And then you go, yeah, okay, we can get on board with it. And now just Eeyore walks in. You go,
guy's coming in with a hangnail now.
Yeah, straight up. He goes, doc,
No, it's literally the guy's like, I just been bummed out later. He's like, zzz, he's got the cords all in his hands. You want to do this now or later?
Yeah.
Hey, you got to pay up front. Yo, how funny is that you have to pay for it though? Because it's Canada. But like, you know, going to a place like that would be like if someone like you went in that's cheap and they went in, you go, we have $2,000 and you
$2,000.
Yeah, exactly.
I can fucking jump off a bridge for free.
you're haggling with your euthanasia guy.
Yo, look, I'll be jumping off that bridge if we can't come down to something a little more reasonable.
That is funny, haggling with the euthanasia guy, because the euthanasia guy has a pretty good point where he's like, bro, what are you gonna do with the money anyway? You know what I mean? What are you gonna spend it on? He's like,
that's not the point.
Want to my family. He's like, my friend.
I just, it's on principle. The last thing I'm doing in my life is not getting fucking rinsed by the euthanasia guy.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Especially if you're like hardcore Jewish, you go, the big guy's not going to like that I come in with that. And by the way, my last point about my trip is I got, these days walking around, I get a lot of people recognizing they want to take photos and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. And the most... on this trip, let's say 25, 30, whatever, right?
Yeah.
5 like hardcore Jewish people, Orthodox.
Where in the airport?
No, 2 in the airport, 1 in Edmonton.
Well,
like
not a lot of Jews in Edmonton.
I'm the Lord of the Jews. Like
Lord
these people love me way more than you.
These people,
my people.
These people.
Well, you wouldn't understand what it's like to be beloved by the Jewish community.
I'm not, and I don't.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my comedic sensibility.
Maybe,
but I'm telling you,
Jews like comedy.
Buddy, I feel like if I ever get in trouble with like they're trying to kick me off everything, like they have
those are the ones that won't help you though.
There's different ones.
Yeah, there's different ones to help you.
There's always different groups.
Those are the ones you go, hey, the Jews help me, and they go, we can help you like
we don't like you anymore.
We can help you get a deal on a suit.
You're dark matter.
Do you need a diamond?
Oh, I feel like that's a perfect example. I'm telling you, buddy. It's unfortunate because you're Jewish and you'll never experience what it's like to be so beloved by the community.
I won't, and I'm not.
They're coming up. The full hats, tassels, not tassels, but
Yeah,
I don't think they had tassels. But the pants tassels.
Yeah, the pants had the
Pants tassels, and just like body big fan, like this, like I don't. It's crazy.
Did they make you? Did they want to? You ever asked to try the hat on?
They would let me.
Probably. Go ahead. It would probably smell.
I'm telling you, buddy.
Does that stink?
This is my people. I've always thought. I wish it was. I'm like
You should convert.
Yo, I'm a woo.
A woo. You should convert, dude. A woo.
I always felt like a little bit where you go, because really my life would be the exact same, except I would have a little bit extra, like people wanting to work, like other Jewish people wanting to help me because I'm Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no denying that, like, certain communities, like there is in terms of business dealings, there's people that like low key probably would want to work with another Jewish person more.
Certain things, maybe.
You have a lot of people in your life that you kind of have a connection with them, I feel like, on the Jewish tip.
Not that I work with. I don't know. I've never received one thing from being Jewish professionally.
Are you sure? I'll tell you. I'll tell you a perfect example. You've had managers and stuff, and it's kind of like you have the same holidays, and
Oh, Jewish managers! Who would have thought? In the entertainment, I mean, I've had one manager who happens to be Jewish.
All right, fine.
And hasn't done much for me.
Well, I'm telling you, buddy. these people like the kid.
Not done much for me.
I'm gonna take another quick second here to tell the fellas about Fume. You all know about Fume. We've been telling you. So, what is Fume? Now, if you're you go out there, there's people out there vaping and smoking nonstop.
All that bad shit.
You're standing out there. You're hooked.
You're hooked.
It's no good.
No good.
You
you don't even have to stand out there.
You can't live your life like that.
No.
That's one of those things. A lot of people, it's like you started doing it in your 20s, and then by the end, especially as you get in your late 20s, 30s, you're like, come on, knock it off.
You're an adult man that vapes.
Knock it off. You're going to look 60 when you're 50. So Fume is a really good alternative, nicotine-free alternative to get you off of smoking and vaping. If this describes you, let me tell you why you got to check out Fume. It's a natural inhaler designed for a better, safer, more natural way to quit cigarettes. It's a no smoke, no vape, and no nicotine replacement for the hand-to-mouth habit of smoking. So they handcraft these wooden inhalers. They look really cool. They're fun to use, and they have cores infused with plant oils studied to curb cravings, and they like have cool aromas to them. They have flavors like peppermint, conker, minty notes, and they stimulate menthol cigarettes if you like that. And other flavors like cozy chai, lemon berry, bliss, a bunch of stuff. You're going to want to get on this. They're 100% natural, no harmful chemicals, no artificial flamers, and absolutely no nicotine. Thousands of 5-star reviews. I give the Ryan Long and BOYSCAST review also a 5 or 6 stars.
7 stars.
I give it 7 stars. You can use it on the plane if you're that type of guy. That's the huge part. It's like you see these people on the planes, they get out, they got to run out there to, catch their dart.
Or they smoke in the lavatory and then they get arrested by the FBI.
It's not what you want.
No.
Whether you're a smoker or ex-smoker who still struggles with cravings, Fume is the perfect tool for you. Head to breathefume.com/boyscast and use the promo code BOYSCAST. Save 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your entire order when you go to breathefume.com/boyscast and use the promo code BOYSCAST. Quit naturally with Fume and use the code BOYSCAST to save 10% at breathefume.com/boyscast. So the other wacky thing that's been going on is, well, not been going on, but just, okay, so I'm going to just rephrase that. When I was talking about the Canada thing, one thing that makes me laugh is always whenever politicians, things get hot, and then whenever there's any heat on them, it's kind of the number one strategy nowadays to be like, hey, we just look what we're doing for minorities or something like that.
Of course, deflect.
It's a big deflection, right?
Always.
I mean, it's politics 101. I mean, you could probably say every politician on every side. It's like, oh yeah, you don't like this? Like, hey, here's look what I did for the Patriots or whatever, right?
Of course.
But
shout out to the Patriots.
Shout out to the Patriots. In Canada, it's like a caricature of the most wacky American politician almost in a lot of ways, right? Mm-hmm. So Justin Trudeau has been sort of on the chopping block here and there. And they go, Canada launches the first ever 2SL. So
I'm going to say
the
this.
thing's different now. And we're
I honestly, I
You're
was
gonna
like,
have to
I've
be that
never
guy.
seen this acronym.
Uh-huh.
This is the first time. And all I could think was, it was just 6-7 years ago.
You know
LGBT.
What? Clip this segment. Let's post this as an Instagram clip. Ryan and Danny say that these pronouns are getting out of control.
These goddamn
Too many letters. These
alphabet bait. No, but legitimately,
I
it
know.
was just LGBT like not that long ago.
dude. I don't know what the 2 means. I think it's two spirit.
And then it's Two-Spirit.
okay, so 2SLGBTQIA+.
Are they sure this isn't just like the guy who wrote this article's password or something? That's a super safe.
I feel
that's a
corny
super
making
safe.
these jokes because they're so overdone.
Yeah, I know.
It really is like it's just been beat to death, right?
I know.
It's like
Honestly, and I've been always remiss to make this joke other than and I don't really make this joke other than the fact that I go like I've never seen this before.
I know.
And it used to start with LGBT. Like, how did Two-Spirit get at the front?
Two spirits in.
You know what it is, actually? No, I know totally.
Natives?
Because in Two-Spirit is indigenous, and in the hierarchy in Canada, Two-Spirit's at the top.
They're the
of
top
victims.
guns.
They're the top victim.
Top
so
dog.
they get to. They've now superseded, queer people, right?
Well, I think they're supposed to
Queers.
be. Yeah, two spirits basically transgender, but you're also native, I guess.
No, it's non-binary. I thought it's native non-binary.
What, I don't even care about that. You know what?
But it is interesting that they're at the
Yeah,
front.
but it's interesting because the communities are getting some big money. So he says the federal government has launched its first ever action plan in attempt to build a future where everyone in the country is truly free. So $100 million is
Yeah,
going
everybody in
to this.
Canada feels super free right now.
Try, Danny, to tell me as I read this what exactly they're getting. Because you read this and you go, okay, we're giving all this money to the community, right? And you go, okay, what are we getting? They go, we're going to put this money towards building a future where everyone in the country feels truly free. Okay, so what are we getting? And they go, an announcement, the Minister for Women and Gender Equality, all right? She said the whole government's plan, the whole government plan that will guide our ongoing work, like discrimination, to break down barriers, to advance rights, and to build a better future where everyone is truly free in Canada. Okay.
Okay.
What are we getting?
What is that?
Yo, it is impossible. I read the whole thing. I still don't know what we're getting. There's a couple trinkets in here where you go, okay, so imagine you were like, huge news. I'm a transgender queer. And they go, big news. $100 million you're getting. You go, what is it? You go, we're building communities and fostering relationships against discrimination for the marginalized people. You go, I'm listening. You go, that's what we're doing.
It's crazy too because
It's no. You know what? What's the one fucking where they have the hose on boats? Step Brothers.
Boats and
It's
Hose?
the pitch for the Step Brothers company.
the Catalina wine mixer.
Yes. So they go, our government, this is what else they're getting. Our government will never stop fighting to protect and support your rights and freedoms. I'm still listening. The government in Canada will continue to work with the provinces and territories, cities and towns, community organizations. So they can continue to do that. And the 2L LGBTQ plus IA people from all walks of life to build a better future we can be proud of. Okay, I think I got this first part. So I feel like I've registered the first part where it's like, yeah, you want them to be proud.
Yeah.
Communities. I think I've gotten
I
that.
think this is just going to the flag manufacturing.
This is their press release,
This
by
is
the
going to
way.
be like just rainbow flags and trans flags just dropped on every house in Canada
Everyone gets a flag.
and overseas too. They're going to every embassy, like the Saudi Arabia embassy,
Mm-hmm.
they're just going to be shooting them out, paper airplanes.
It also said that the government will adopt and encourage the use of the 2SLGBTQ plus I acronym. Okay, so the
So we're just trying to get an acronym going.
Well, the 100
That's cost
million-
$100 million for a fucking acronym.
Well, they're not. They're going to encourage it. They're going to encourage
Just
the
to
use
encourage
of
it,
So
yeah.
this part of this $100 million plan involves encouraging the acronym. So far, the only thing that I've kind of registered is they're going to encourage the use of the acronym. So maybe that goes like commercials. What does that mean? Like you make a commercial that's like, you got to use it, pal.
Yeah.
Buddy. It's like, you
New
know,
Canadian heritage moments, man.
no, they're going to do the commercials with it, like the Gillette, like Don't Be Mean ones,
Oh, yeah.
where it's like someone's like, it's like two guys playing hockey and the guy's like, hey, my friend's a part of the LGBT community. And he's like, dude.
And he thinks he's so progressive. He's finally caught up. He goes, yeah, my friend's a part of the LGBTQ plus two-spirit community. Go, record scratch.
No, that's not okay.
That's not okay, man.
Pal.
That's not how we talk anymore.
So I think maybe those, yeah. Yeah, you're right. They used to have this thing in Canada called the Canadian Heritage Moment, which Danny was real. And it would be like, these commercials that were like all the crappy Canadian moments, like they invented basketball and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But they have one of these
get
is like
my peach basket back.
and one of these is for each letter. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have one where it's like the moment, like the adoption of the L. Like, what if we added the L to the thing? And he goes, that's genius.
Yeah, I go, wait. And he's got like a board with like a magnetic board, and he goes, just humor me for 1 second. And he takes the 2S from the end of it, and he goes, oh my God.
Oh my God.
And everybody goes, you fucking did it.
You fucking non-binary genius, yeah. He also said, okay, so that's so far the first thing is they're going to encourage the use, which means lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and additionally sexually and gender diverse people. Okay, what are the goods? everyone's the guys.
This is just straight up going to be like $100 million like Facebook ad spend. It's going straight to Facebook.
You know what it is too? Like they're at the press release, like Justin Trudeau's, they're all snapping photos. He's got his hair, and there's a drummer doing like his hands are getting tired. Like drum roll, please.
drum
Like
roll, please.
his hands are getting tired doing the drum roll.
Smoke is starting to come up. He goes, okay, anytime now, Justin.
Anytime now, tell us what this means. Okay, here's one. We're going to get a dedicated two-spirit senior advisor position within the 2L SPGTQ Secretariat, and also is being created to support resilience and resurgence. So the first thing, now we're talking.
Oh.
So far we're going to encourage the acronym, and they're hiring someone, which I can't believe, imagine is more than like an $80,000 a year position. So 80.
Oh, I bet you it's a little more. $80,000 is a slap in the face. And what kind of scandal
That's true.
would be if you go, yeah, and they're only paying me $80,000.
Okay, I think
this
you
is
have a point.
This is $200.
Okay, so $200 of the million goes to a two-spirit senior advisor.
Yeah.
So if you're your average,
And then obviously there's
dater-
going to be also many people below that.
yeah. Okay.
A senior advisor is just not on an island.
Okay, so basically it's that we're hiring a few people.
Yeah.
Okay, so but if you, I just like the other idea of being
What
like,
do you do here?
this is the
A lot of
ultimate.
that.
This is the ultimate. What do you do here? So now we're talking. We got the senior advisor. We're encouraging the use of the acronym. In addition, the action plan will continue to advance and strengthen the rights within the community. So okay.
Your guess is as good as mine.
And abroad. So it might be some Facebook ad spends in China, for example.
Yeah, that'll go over well.
By building on the criminalization of conversion therapy. Okay, so they're basically...
Okay, so anti-conversion therapy, which I'm pretty sure is illegal.
It's for the one...
But they recently made it illegal.
Yeah, for the one guy that like still maybe is getting converted somehow. It's like also it was voluntary anyway, but like so what is the so if you're going to put like 100 million, if you're putting like 3 million, so far this is like 30% of it is like basically 30 million bucks into like I guess like ads to say that conversion therapy is bad or something like that.
But I mean it's illegal. They made it illegal.
Okay.
So I don't even maybe some like
So they want to stop black market
LGBTQI plus dispensaries?
Maybe it's like a black market thing. Like they hire kind of a team of, like essentially LGBT sergeants that you sort of show up and there's a guy he's straight, but he doesn't want to be straight. And they show up and they're like, you suck that dick. You be who you're supposed to be.
Maybe their own police force.
Look at you trying to get married. You trying to get a wife. He whips it out. You get on this. Slob this now. You're a gay man.
It's the law, bigot.
Yeah. They're just they just walk around like sort of playing the knockout game with preachers.
I don't know what this is for.
Hey, this is LGBTQS plus community town, buddy.
This is just Trudeau doing whatever the fuck he wants.
A lot of
Because this
words.
isn't even for votes.
Right.
How many votes is this getting?
No, this is for
probably losing
get people
you more
off his trail.
This is probably losing you more votes than you're getting, to be honest, at this point. When
Maybe.
when there's like inflation and a bad economy, you're like,
That's
people are like
true.
100 million for this?
Yeah. Data collection, analysis, and research about I bet you he would like to do some fucking research on them, wouldn't he?
Go fucking.
Also, I will be the one doing the research.
I'll be doing the research.
Oh, you're going to be doing... What does that mean? You're doing...
Research never tastes so good.
politicians.
You know what's so crazy? And
Research.
this is also
and
like
analysis. What does analysis mean? You go, they come back, they go, we spent that $200 million. What did it show? Turns out the dick goes in the ass.
this is also like a also hack thing, I guess, or whatever. But I'm sure lots of people are saying this. But they still like have all these reserves where they don't have drinking water. Like, is this a priority over that? Because I know he promised that too. He goes, "We're gonna get clean drinking water."
Rainbow drinking water.
Well, yeah, he goes, it's gonna come up, we got special dyes, $50 million to a special dye that makes the water come out as a rainbow. And you're like, I'm sure all these people on reservations are like, yeah, this stuff is great with the Two-Spirit stuff, but if I didn't have to boil my drinking water, it would be
First of all, there's none of them on the.
awesome.
First of all, we don't know any of those people. That's like people who like don't live on the reserve and went to college. Like,
yeah, or even they're like, yeah, there's some Two-Spirit things we don't give a shit.
right.
They're like, the level of priorities here are so low for this general stuff. They're like, what about that? And they go, yeah, it's like we got to do this first to get there. You go, all right.
And the data analysis, they will also be improving. And they have some investments that will be made in awareness campaigns to improve understanding. So you know what this really is? So the awareness campaigns, it's a big ad spend, billboards. You know, it's so funny.
Am I the actor or the bigot?
What?
In the campaign.
You're the
I'm
bigot,
the
for
bad
sure.
guy, right? Yeah.
So they basically, millions of dollars worth, and then $70 million is going to be consultants.
yeah.
So, like,
this is just gonna get
This will be. If it's not already gone. Like, first of all, they're gonna hire some consultant agency that's gonna spend $2.5 million on a website, like out of the gate.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
what I
It's
mean?
all that stuff where it's just, and then you go look, and then by the time that they actually look into this, he'll be gone. And then they'll be like, yeah, this is how government works.
Now those are
Just
jobs that exist, yeah.
Yeah, the money
But
gets just
it's a lot of it's going to be
incinerated.
consultants and if you actually digged into their things, it'll be like a lot of kind bars at that office.
Yeah. Dude, I'll never forget. I had a friend of mine who worked for the Peel District School Board, and she said that at the end of the year they had money left over in their budget, and you have to spend the money.
I know.
because if you don't, then next year they go
all
right.
this thing in the book,
And
right?
she goes, and they spent $12,000 on chocolate business cards.
No, they did not.
Yeah, she goes, that was what when she goes $12,000 on chocolate business cards.
No way.
Yeah. And then I go, yeah, and this is just another. This is chocolate business cards, but they're Two-Spirit chocolate business cards. So instead of $12,000, they're $50,000.
That is funny though. But I will say that these kind of consultants probably don't have missing extra budget at the end of the year.
No, well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
They have a fucking rager.
No, but they know how to spend. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's probably like they all get together and it's like, the guy who worked for the mining the mining minister and then the overseas minister. They're like, yeah, what are you guys doing when your department has extra money left over? And she's like picking her teeth with a gold pick, like extra money.
Extra money. And I'm sure there's research thing. They're gonna sit down and be like, how do we get more funding? And then someone goes, just hear me out.
Another letter.
Three-Spirit. And you go, holy shit! You just increased our budget 50%. That's
God.
insane.
Oh my fucking God, you're a genius.
That number goes up.
This is
And
always
the number goes up.
It always makes me laugh, the idea that this is your girlfriend wanting something specific and then you promising honestly I want to go on a trip to Spain, right?
Yeah.
And then you go, and you know what, I honestly couldn't agree more. You deserve the world, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you are the most important person, and you deserve everything that's coming your way, and you're so special. And she's like, anyways, we have to book the tickets now. And you go, there's nothing that'll stop me from making you happy. And she goes, so just maybe to the credit card if you want to toss that over. And you go, credit card or no credit card, you are the most important.
Filibuster. Just straight filibuster.
filibuster?
You're filibustering on your vacation.
Filibuster.
No, the thing that makes me happy about this is just thinking about Gordon Lethbridge, who smokes fucking players' greens and ashes into his pocket, who's reading about where his tax money's going. He goes, what the fuck is any of this? Not even where is this money going to? He goes, what is this? I don't even understand.
Well, he better not say that out loud, or one of these diversity consultants will be knocking on his door.
Re-education consultants. They're in this article too. They have a thing, read more, and says Calgary Pride says LGBTQ, which is the wrong thing. Pretty fucked up, Calgary Pride. But this is probably how progressive they can get. But they go, Calgary Pride says LGBTQ refugees to lead the Pride Parade.
Refugees at the front
Yeah,
of the bride parade.
we're going refugees.
How much did that cost them? A couple million? Oh, that'll cost you.
Yeah. You know how much just the casting directors for that cost?
It is funny thinking of these meetings, and it's like, it's not some, college kid with green hair. It's like it's like literally like 8 guys in suits being like,
Yeah.
oh, that'll cost you. Oh.
I think we can get it done.
Hey, Bill, what do you think? You think we can get those rainbow flags done? Oh, they want them rainbow? Oh, the rainbow dies in short supply right now.
Ukraine supply chains are crunched.
Oh.
Price of energy in Europe's through the roof. I think we could get it done. Maybe 2 million over budget. I don't know. We'll see.
Listen, we want to help you, man. We want to do everything we can to get this. How many refugees do you need? 5? Oh, it's just a tough month for refugees. This is my friend.
Guys, where you think refugees just grow on trees? Where do you think
me-
they come from?
If you'd asked me 3 months ago, it would have been half the price, my friend. But it's just a bad time for refugees. You tell him, he goes, terrible time for refugees.
Let's see what the refugee crop reports are looking like.
Okay, it says you got a bit of a gay conversion therapy problem, so, we're probably going to need at least 40, 50 agents to get rid of that. And he's like, the stats said that, it's illegal and people don't do it. He goes, you know what? We'll just leave it on the streets. You know what? You're right. And then, it'll be probably good, I guess, next time the conservative...
Kids will die.
Yeah, kids will die. You know what? Honestly, you're right. Let's just focus on something else. If you want the kids to die, I mean, that'll be for you to deal with when you're campaigning for your next election.
Just kill the kids.
Yeah, we'll just... You know what? I'll tell you what. The money we'll take to that, we'll just put it in knives, because why don't you just kill the kids themselves? And why don't we just cut out the middleman? I'll put 80 knives in this budget, and you can just go murder LGBT kids personally.
Yeah, you might as well. It'd be probably cheaper.
All right, we'll do
the
the
amount of kids killed, and you go.
Okay, fine. We'll do the conversion therapy.
Does everybody just work for the government in Canada? Is that where we're going?
It's legitimately the guy walking in to get a hoopty and walking out with like 9 spoilers, the fucking deluxe radio package. He's got subwoofers, a black light underneath. Every feature
Feeling
in the game.
like he got rinsed, but doesn't want to say it out loud.
No, I actually wanted the double spoiler.
Yeah, I like it
on my Ford Accord.
Honda
Accord.
Oh, we're gonna get.
Damn it!
You're gonna get roasted for that.
Yeah, what? I can't make references to
Ryan Long, man of the people, Ford Accord.
I knew what a spoiler was.
Yeah, and a double spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler alert. So there's the. So also, we got the opposite of this, and this is a banger. So in the opposite, there's a bit of a war going on, sort of a culture war going on within the students and the schools in Texas.
Hey-ha.
Buddy, this article like legit just made me laugh. So in Texas, basically I'll just tell you the thing without even reading it. So it's incredible. So this school board, they passed some law where they essentially said anyone who brings in God We Trust banners or photos, they have this big area where they put them in. And somewhere in this, somewhere in this contract, they kind of have it written. And there's this organization called Patriot Mobile.
Shout out to the Patriots.
Patriot Mobile is like, they're like putting money into elections.
Not a cell phone thing.
I think they are a cell phone company.
Oh, is it like you? Oh, it's actually a cell phone company?
My friend. You never heard about Patriot Mobile?
No.
Patriot Mobile is like fucking this like
Are they like Mint Mobile but for Patriots?
They're like they're turning into like Christian George Soros, my friend.
Ooh,
it's like this. Dude, it's like this Christian like cell phone company that's just got tons of money and they're throwing it around for politics issues, right?
Interesting.
So Patriot Mobile is like campaigning for candidates and it's like working.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just like a PAC or whatever, one of those things.
Yeah, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they don't care because their market is the Patriots. So it's like people are like, we boycott them. It's like the pillow guy, right? Like
the more you boycott them, the more they just are like, we're trying to.
They're like, our name's Patriot Mobile. Like we don't think. First of all, we only operate in Republican areas, probably.
Yeah.
Second of all, like, yeah, we didn't think the like green-haired college kid was gonna get her cell phone from Patriot Mobile.
No, it can be $1 a month, and they won't do that.
How funny would that be for like a daughter that she hates, like going to college, hates her Republican gun dad, and he's like, their cell phone plans on Patriot Mobile.
It just says like, where it says like whatever
Right in the
AT&T,
corner of
it
your
just says
screen.
Patriot. Or just even worse, American flag.
yeah. And it's like it's very Christian, right? So they did this thing in the school where they were like, for some reason it was kind of like, oh, we have this thing where anyone can bring in God We Trust. So they have this area where all the In God We Trust things go up, which is to some degree, this is the kind of campaigning that the Mobile's doing, right? Because technically, I guess you shouldn't be having like God things in public schools.
Right. Yeah. The separation of church and state. Right.
Right,
They're
but-
trying to bring church back into.
Yeah, and they're doing a
schools.
pretty good job of it, despite the fact that it's like technically legal. They're finding these loopholes where they're like, well, no, I'm kind of paraphrasing what this might be a little bit untrue, but the gist of it is kind of like, well, no, we just have this gift area that we control, and any gift, and we'll say that any gift that someone comes up,
And they're not saying which God, right? Because in God We Trust is on the money.
right. So that was
So it's very like it's the boiling frog. They go, we're saying
And then-
everybody likes money.
And then so liberals in that area
This is hilarious.
got wind of that, and they were like mad. So they started saying, well, if you're allowed to take any sign, why not this In God We Trust?
As long as it says in God
So
We
they were
Trust.
giving them In God We Trust sign. They were like in Arabic, and In God Trust we signs that say they were like rainbow
And
ones.
it's honestly like they're at a city council meeting. It's like Alex Stein. It's like Alex Stein styles because they're at these city council meetings,
Right.
doing this. They're showing up, and it's exactly like his videos where he's like at it, where you're like, but it's not a troll.
They have all
It
these
is a troll,
signs.
but it's not a troll.
Yeah, well, their trolls are like, yeah, it like would be a troll if they weren't like mad about it. You know
Yeah,
what I
they're
mean?
mad about it. So okay, put up these ones in Dallas, Texas, or in somewhere in Texas. Put up our Arabic In God We Trust sign.
Yeah, like it is.
Funny.
Yeah, it is funny. It's only not funny if you're like, yes, we have to do this because they're like Nazis. Like it's
Yeah,
It's
of course.
only you have to be like you can't be like seething when you do your trolls.
No. They're just straight up being like, hey, they obviously don't like it, and they go, okay, well, if that's the policy, let's throw these bad boys up as well.
However, it didn't work because this is the best part. It's so funny because they go, so they bring all of the signs there. And when they brought them, they go, a coalition of members designed an array of alternative posters. One written in Arabic, others with rainbows, near the start of Monday night's meeting. However, the board president, Cameron Bryan, responded that the district already had enough signs on display.
Yeah, the moment the Arabic one comes out in Texas, they go, oh, wait, did you not get the memo? Oh, yeah, we've reached our sign quota. We don't need any more signs, but appreciate it. Appreciate your nice signs.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to put them up, though. We have as many signs.
So it's like everyone finding a technicality, and he goes, we appreciate the signs, but we already have enough. Isn't that so funny?
That's amazing.
So they're like, yeah, we have this area for signs. Everyone bring your God signs in. They go, hey, we have these LGBT ones. You go, just missed the cutoff.
Look, where would we even put them? There's no space on the walls, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, honestly, good work. Sorry,
Good
we'll reimburse
stuff.
you for it if
yeah,
you want.
Yeah, that's good shit.
So that's like, it's a sign war.
Hilarious.
Signs.
Nothing like a good sign war. And I mean, again, like
And the Patriot Mobile said, long hair Arabic people need not apply. So he took so he untucked his dick from between his legs. And he's allowed to go back inside if he takes his dick out. He's like, no, you're trying to.
I mean, that is a funny troll because to think of the people who are like not really knowing about this stuff, who are probably like, fairly Christian, because I'm sure the district is just like 95% Christian. There's a tiny percentage of people who are like, yeah, okay, well then let's toss our bad boys up there. And then the thought of like just some random, like you're going to watch your kids play high school football and you're walking and you go, what's this Arabic rainbow In God We Trust?
Not a
nonsense?
happy camper.
Like those people are like, this is best for everybody if we don't do this.
Well, that was the whole reason why, in the first place, they were, they shouldn't have, let's
shouldn't
not
have,
have God in
obviously.
schools, right? Okay. Anyways, that shit was making me laugh.
That was very funny. Like the photo is honestly, it looks like a frame from an Alex Stein thing. This guy's at his city council holding these two photos.
Oh my God.
That's good shit. That's real good shit.
So I always love the when women write articles that is like just essentially becoming like a frat bro. And like we've talked about this before, but the idea that a lot of this kind of new girl stuff, it really does boil down to the one meme where it's like, 2000 or like 1950, like women should have equal rights as men.
Yeah.
Like 2000, like women are just as good as men. 2022, women are men, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of it will be like, a lot of that stuff will be like burping and shit like that, and you're kind of like burping and fart. Women can burp and fart, and you're just like you're picking like a kind of like a caricature of like a frat bro.
Of course.
And
like you're basically saying, oh yeah, all guys are just sitting there ripping ass.
I mean, that argument could be made about like trans stuff too. When when you say that like, hey, like they become, you just like all of this stuff is essentially like my identity is like a caricature of what a thing is.
Yeah.
Like, it's like gay guys almost like in a lot of ways become a caricature of a sassy girl, right? Mm-hmm. So this next one, this article, this woman basically did this whole bit where she goes, making a case for masturbating on your lunch break. And
I love how you called it a bit. She's got a little skit she's doing.
And I just love, yeah.
And the dudes have been doing that for fucking since time.
But not in a trillion years would a guy ever write an article where he's saying like you'd be fired first of all.
First off, and they're not doing it on like lifehacker.com being like, hey guys, I don't know if you knew this, but you could just during your lunch break rub one out. And that doesn't even count towards the whole daily total. That's an afternooner. Still got time at night.
The audacity a man would have to write an article why spanking it on your lunch break is actually good. Dude, you would be fired faster than you can blink an eye. It'd be like, hey, Fred just published an article about how he's been jacking off in the bathroom.
So Fred's a bit of a blogger on the side, and outside of working at the bank, turns out every time he goes to the bathroom, he's just jerking off.
Hey, one of the greeters at Walmart who shakes the hands. Yeah, bringing that up at like the board meeting too. Like everyone's standing there and we go, with this girl, like this girl's like a fat blogger chick.
Yeah.
No one can say anything. It's like, but with it, if you had like the meeting, like imagine not even like it's like a low person. It's like the vice president. Just one quick bit of house cleaning. If we could maybe not publish articles about how we've been jacking off in the office, like that'd be great.
During work hours, that's more of something you should do on your personal time.
I kind of can't believe I have to be saying
no,
this.
you know what you know what the guys' version of this would be? The guys' version would be like, hey, if you jack off at work, you're kind of getting paid to jerk off.
How to
get paid to jerk off, and you do it on company time.
Yeah. You're basically a prostitute.
Yeah.
Being paid to do this. I have some of the most open, in-touch girlfriends and colleagues, and I can casually mention to them how much better I feel after a good orgasm. Is that what girls talk about? That's girls who are trying to be like men.
Yeah.
That's what they talk about.
That's the whole we're the same shit.
Three girls at the workplace, like, dudes at the lunch table, it's like they're around the cooler, I'd be like, fucking Knicks last night.
Yeah, talking about sports.
And then the girls are there, it's like, dude, orgasms are sick.
Yeah,
huh?
orgasms are sick. I got a new, my Hitachi wand died, and then I got a new one.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
Yeah, any changes? Nope, same old.
This is the girl that probably so many people try to avoid. To be like, dude, I got to avoid that girl. Like, every time I talk to her, she like tells me how many orgasms she had last night.
At work. And you can't really say anything to HR because she is the head of HR.
But also, it's even more remedial than that. It's kind of like what a 12-year-old boy would say, because she goes, I can casually mention to them how much better I feel after a good orgasm. And be like, I love coming. Coming's so sick, right? You ever come before? It's pretty sick, right? That's the level that her and her friends are talking at.
They're so empowered, but they're like, aren't we so empowered we masturbate all the time?
Yeah. Oh, did you masturbate? Nice. You?
Yeah, we are. Sticking it to the man. Taking down the patriarchy.
How often? A couple times a day. What are you running?
Crazy is the word she used too. She calls it cracking her clit.
Oh, I saw that.
Insane.
Oh my god.
Just crack the clit. Anyone else? Because I'm fucking eating. What are you talking about? We're eating lunch. go do it. You don't have to tell us.
Guys, got an announcement to make. Just took it for another crack.
Everybody, I got a ding ding. I got an announcement. Silence.
Broke the record. Times are late.
Someone just hit double digits before noon. Just call me the clit cracker.
She's got the sign with the numbers.
It's rolling.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, the bell.
Yeah, the bell.
Ding, ding, ding. The
Ding,
sail
ding,
bell.
ding, ding.
Made another sail.
14.
What are you?
So insane.
I guess women don't treat this like a chore like guys do.
I mean, well, you could run through there's 20 things about how funny it is. Like, you could run through, like, just the idea of, like, this is your mom. Like, imagine you're the kid whose dad is writing articles about how he's spanking it in the stall at work.
At work.
And he works at the hockey arena.
It's not even like the thing too where they have like some like nerve damage where they like have to masturbate or something. It's just like, yeah.
One afternoon, when asked how my date was going, I mentioned how much better I felt after a sunrise swim, workout, and spontaneous midday masturbation. Coffee room talk. You go, hey, how'd you go? And I just took the kids down to the pond. What about you? I feel really good after I work out and spank her.
Also, isn't all masturbation spontaneous? How much masturbation is deliberate and planned?
That's true. Yeah.
She's like, they like to just.
She's kind of new to the game. That's why I was saying
honestly, it sounds like a 12-year-old boy writing this who's just figuring this
that's
stuff out.
exactly what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, do you know you could jack off
Or like a
in the
douchebag
stall?
that like an alien who's like trying to fit in with like American culture, and he kind of like watching movies and he's like, oh, how to hang out with college kids, and he's like, jerking off's great, right, boys? You know what I mean?
With his America flags.
Yeah, he's trying to fit in. She goes, it got me thinking about how many benefits. So she told people, I love masturbating. She left and she goes, huh, that kind of gets me thinking.
Yeah.
She goes, I got me thinking how many benefits you feel post a good orgasm and how sometimes it's all you need. And as a holistic health coach.
Yeah, that's what it is right
She's a
now.
coach.
She's a coach. See, this is like one of her practices. This gets
That's mainly
mixed in the whole
that's the
thing.
main
You go-
prescription she's
You
getting.
go, doctor, there's something wrong with you. She goes, first off, I'm not a doctor. And have you
often
tried
you
cracking the
spanking
clit?
How often you spanking her? All right, sit down. So
Did you hire somebody for money and they use the term cracking your clit?
first things first, you spanking it? How often? I'm gonna up that dosage.
How often are you getting there before noon? He goes, kind of never really. It's more of a
yeah.
night thing.
Yeah, we're
He
gonna
goes,
want to see that at least 3 or 4 before noon.
writes
yeah.
it on the pad, gives you a prescription. You go, you really have to write that down?
Yeah.
You're not gonna remember.
What are you
otherwise.
prescribing? I'm gonna prescribe a little lube.
A little KY and a little morning clit cracking.
That's making my fucking ears cringe to hear that over and over.
It's insane. She fancies herself
She's a
a health,
coach.
like a health practitioner.
Yeah, and her main, and you know how they say I got a prescription, or I got a fever, and the only prescription's more cowbell.
Yeah.
She's the more cowbell thing for cracking it. I got a fever, and there's only one prescription. Cracking her.
Cracking her.
I believe this is the best therapy that you can get for free, and here's why. We hold tension down there too, and there's a decent build. Oh, shouldn't it? It's like a lot of rationalization, but
Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
it would be like,
It's like, sure, yeah, go for it.
yeah, right,
Worthy of an
yeah,
article.
go
You know what the
for it.
saddest part too is well, sad / maybe good for us down the line. This is her first article
Really?
on Mamma Mia. Yeah, I went and checked. I always go check.
Well, yeah,
because our favorite cranks them out one a day, not the clit, the articles. And this is number one for her. So
And it is a girl like that. She's like, I'm fucking spanking it 5 times a day. And
Imagine-
she's sort of like justifying her to herself.
imagine you want to get into blogging though, and you go, fuck, I can't think of what's my first.
I see. I didn't even think of that. You're right. That's so funny.
This is her first blog.
You're right, because I would, if this was like article number 15, you might be like, they're running out of ideas. Number 1, you're like, this is how you got. You're
Yeah, like you've been thinking about this for
this is
5 years.
This is the thesis statement.
Yeah. This is like all your things, every theory you have about this stuff, and you go, we're leading with the
You
best.
sent this around to a bunch of different places, but try to get it published.
Yeah, but this is the top one she has.
It's a beautiful, important form of self-care. It doesn't always have to be about pleasure. Well, I don't know what's going there. It's just like, I guess, she's thinking about a guy, just about getting it over with. And let go of the guilt. I mean, you should feel a little guilty of doing it like every single day at your office. I'm not saying it never happens, but you should feel like, yeah, I shouldn't feel like proud of this.
Yeah, you do this. It's like some things are, not meant for public consumption. You don't have to write an article about every shit you take either.
Oh, you're right. It's a TMI situation as well.
Yeah, it's just like go fucking take your shit and move on with your life.
Yeah. Wow.
On par with that nonsense.
Hoping to see people in Miami, Jacksonville coming up. And we got a ton of new listeners to the Patreon last week. So much appreciated.
Welcome.
And everyone who's on the Patreon, you all know the good shit's coming. I got a good Reddit this week, actually, probably one of the funnier ones.
Yeah.
As well as a bunch of other shit. So we're cooking, and we appreciate you all.
Y'all
Thank
the
you
best.
for listening to the BOYSCAST.
Peace.
The boys,
The BOYSCAST.
the lads,
The BOYSCAST.
the dudes.
Prepare yourself for